In this After Effects tutorial, I'm gonna be showing you how to make a slideshow that you see on the screen. Subscribe to the channel and hit the like button as well so that you keep up with the upcoming tutorials. Let's go. So here we are in After Effects. We create a new composition with the settings, click OK, and the first thing we want to do is create a background. So right click, go to new, solid, name this BG, and this is the color that I'm gonna be using. Click OK. So that's our background. And now we select ellipse tool, we draw a circle, but we make sure that it has a fill and that it has no stroke. So by going over here, we can give it a solid color. And then we draw a circle while holding Ctrl and Shift. I make this big enough, and then I can just move this like that. I can make this even bigger if I need to. Move this down and then close the settings, Ctrl D to duplicate this one, and then we move this down again, and then we can make this smaller if we need to. I hold from this point, and then while holding Shift I click and drag, and then I place this over here somewhere. And now I go to the first shape, and then I'm gonna change the color of it. So I have the colors that I have prepared here for the first one, and then I paste this, Ctrl C to copy and Ctrl V to paste. I paste this here, so that will be the color. And then we select type tool, horizontal type tool, and then type in our text. I change the font for this one to LC regular, LC black actually, and then make this, change the size of it to 100, and then I can center this from Align panel. And now I duplicate this, Ctrl D, and then move this somewhere around here, double click on it to change the text, and then I change the font for this one to kinda bold, not sure if I pronounced that right. So I resize this to 50 and then move this somewhere around here. Ctrl D to duplicate this one as well, and then I move this here, change the text, and now we want to animate this all. So now we start with the first one, press P for position, set a keyframe on it at the beginning, and then move by 20 frames. So shift page down, moves by 10 frames, shift page down again to move by 20 frames, set another keyframe, go to the beginning, and then change the Y value of it until it can't be seen on the screen. And now select both of the keyframes, press F9 to easy ease. We go to the second one, we press P for position, but let's have a look at the animation that we got so far. That's it. So we press P for position for the second one, set a keyframe on it, go to the 20 frames, and then set another one, and then we change the Y value of it until it can't be seen again. We select both of the keyframes, press F9 to easy ease, and then we want to move this layer to the right side a little so it comes after the first one. So I press Alt page down 5 times so it moves by 5 frames, so they come one by one. I'm liking it so far. And now we can animate the text. So we go to the first one, open the settings, go to animate, add position to it, go to add property, and then add opacity to it as well. And then we change the Y value of position, we change opacity to 0, and then go to range selector 1, open the settings, go to advanced, open the settings for this one as well, change this shape to ramp up. And now we want to animate the offset from range selector 1. So we go to the beginning, set a keyframe on offset, move by, change this to -100, and then move by 20 frames, so shift page down, and then change this to 100. Select both of the keyframes, press F9 to easy ease. Now we can close the settings and then move this to the right side. So I'll try by another 3 frames. So this one comes after the shapes. And then we animate the other text. So open the settings, go to animate, and then add scale to it. Go to the beginning, set a keyframe on scale, and move by 20 frames, shift page down, set another keyframe, go to the beginning, and then change this one to 0. So we got this type of animation. We can solo this to see the animation that we have by clicking on this icon. So we are back at it now. And then we can select both of the keyframes, press F9 for a smoother animation. Now we can do the same for the other text. We open the settings, go to animate, add position, go to add opacity, open the settings for range selector 1, and then open the settings for advanced. And then we animate this one. We change the Y value of positions and then change the opacity to 0, and we change this shape to ramp up. And now we want to animate the offset just like we have done before. So we change this to -100, set a keyframe at the beginning, shift page down, set another keyframe, and then change this to 100. Select the keyframes and then press F9. So now we close the settings and we move this, each one of this by 3 frames. Alt page down to move the layer so they come one by one. And now we create a shape into the middle. We select ellipse tool and then make sure it has a fill, no stroke. And then we just draw a shape like that. We can center this to somewhere around here. And then we duplicate this, so select the layer, Ctrl D to duplicate. We will be using this one for mask. So I have the assets that I have imported before. So we drag this here into the middle and then change the track matte for it to alpha matte. And if you don't see this option, then just press F4. So we change this to alpha matte, and then we can press S to scale it down so that it matches. So something like that. And then we can just animate the first one. So press S for the first one, set a keyframe on scale at the beginning, go to the beginning, set a keyframe on scale, so move by 20 frames again, set another keyframe, and then change the first one to 0. We do the same for the other shape, so press S, and then we can just copy this keyframe, so Ctrl C, select the keyframes for scale, and then paste the keyframes here, so Ctrl V, and then we can just move this to by 3 frames or so. We can have a look at it. So we select the 3 of this now and then move this to somewhere on the right side. And then we want to change for the last shape, we want to change the fill of it to white. For the first one, I mean. we change the fill to white. So let's have a look at it now. Looking fine. And then we can, after this circle finishes up scaling, we can give this photo. We select the photo layer and then press U to view the keyframes. So we have scale here, and then we can just, we don't need to press U because we didn't have keyframes, so press S for it. And then we can just animate the scale, so set a keyframe on it and then go to the end of the animation, and then we give this a scale animation, so it looks like we give it a zoom effect like that. So one last thing for this text, we can select it and then go to effects and presets, add tracking to it, and then select this one, increase tracking, double click on it, and then press U to view the keyframes. So here we have it, and we want to move this to here where the first animation ends, so it scales up. And then we want to move this last keyframe to the end, so it scales up slowly. And now we can just create 2 more circles. So we select ellipse tool and then draw while holding Ctrl and Shift, we draw a circle. Oops, while not having anything selected. So make sure to not have anything selected here, and then select ellipse tool, draw a circle, draw a small one, and then we can, this time we make sure it has no fill, and then we give this a stroke value of 15. We can move this to the place we want. Oops. And now we can animate this, so go to the beginning, press S for scale, set a keyframe on it at the beginning and move by 20 frames, so shift page down, set another keyframe, go back to the beginning, and then we change this to 0. We can change this one to 110 and then change it after a few frames, change it back to 100, so it looks like it's bouncing. And then we can duplicate this, Ctrl D, and move it somewhere around here, and then we can just make this smaller, so we change this one to 50 and then this other one to 75, and then we can just select both of these and then move this by another 3 frames. I'm just gonna take this back to somewhere around here. And then move this first one by 3 frames. So Alt page down. That's it for the first slide. Now I'll press Ctrl A to select everything and then Ctrl Shift C to pre-compose this, call this slide 1, click OK, and then create another composition, call this slide 2, click OK, and then we create a small circle, so make sure it's white for this one, and then make sure that it has no stroke, so we create a small circle while holding Ctrl and Shift. And then center the anchor point, Ctrl Alt Home to center the anchor point, Ctrl Home to center it into the screen. We close the settings, press S for scale and set a keyframe on it at the beginning, move by 20 frames, set another keyframe, and then we change this last one up until it covers the whole screen. And then we select both of the keyframes, press F9 to easy ease. And then we duplicate this, Ctrl D to duplicate, and then we can just change the color for this one. We change the color. I'm gonna copy this, Ctrl C, and then Ctrl V to paste here. And then I'll move this layer to the right side so it comes after. So we have this look. I'll move this another 2 frames. Let's see. Actually, it was better the other way. So 3 frames. Now we can just create a shape. So we select ellipse tool and then draw a circle like that. We can play with the settings, move this up, and then I'll scale it while holding Shift from this point. And I'll drag these points like that, move it like so. I'll leave it here, and then we create another circle while not having anything selected. We create another one, but this time we create a perfect circle, so while holding Ctrl and Shift, something like that. And then I move this down. Scale this from this side while holding Shift, and then center this from Align panel, center horizontally. And then we can just change the color for this one. So I think it was this one. Copy it and then go to the settings, paste it here. And then we close the settings. We want to animate this, so we select the first one. Go to the beginning, press P for position, set a keyframe to it at the beginning, and then move by 20 frames, Shift page down, just like we've done before. Set another keyframe, and then we want to change the first one. We change the Y value of it until it can't be seen here. And then we do the same for the other one, but first we select the keyframes and then press F9. So we do the same for this one as well. Press P for position, set a keyframe, and then go to 20 frames. And then we set another keyframe, go back to the beginning, and then we change the Y value of it until it can't be seen in the screen. And now we select the keyframes, press F9. So now we want to select both of these and then move this a couple of frames until it comes after. After the transition. Like that. I want to select this one. I want to move this down a little, so I select this individual one and then press U to view the keyframes. Go to the last one and move this while holding Shift. Move it down like that. And now we can just copy the elements from the first slide. So we open the first slide and then we can just copy the text. So Ctrl C and then paste it here. Ctrl V to paste, and then we can change the text. Copy this one. We can change this one as well. So we go back to it and then copy this one, Ctrl C, paste it. I change this back to the other text. So we have this animation. We can change we can move the position of the text. So go back to slide 1 and then we can just copy this shapes. So we select the 3 of this, Ctrl C and then Ctrl V to paste here. And now we can just change this to no track matte for now, and then we want to replace this with another picture, so we select the other one and then while holding Alt I replace with this one and then change the track matte to alpha matte, and then we can just change the position of it till it matches. So let's have a look. And now we can go back to slide 1 and then copy these shapes as well. So select both of this, Ctrl C and then Ctrl V to paste. We can take this other one and move it here if you want to. So let's have a look. I'm gonna move this somewhere around here. I don't know, you can just play around. I move this over here as well. Or I can just take it back. Oops. I can change the size of it. And this side looks kinda empty, so I'm just gonna import a preset. So I'll go to Window, Extensions, AtomX. I'm gonna be using a preset, so I'll go to Elements and then I'll just add a preset. So I'll choose this one and then place it over here. Now I'll change the position of it, move it to the right side and then press S to scale it down. Something like that. Now we can have a look. I press P to change the position again. I move this to the right side. and then I'll make this last longer. So now I can go to composition 1, which is our main composition, and then import slide 2 here. Make this the first slide 6 seconds long, and then press Alt and right bracket. And for the second one, we are gonna drag this, make this start from 5 seconds. And now we can have a look at our animation.